Warning, the following video may contain adult language and themes. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. If you have a problem with this, please stop playing this video now. Hi, so I just wanted to get on here real quick and just vlog about a movie I just saw. It was called The Clinic. It was released in 2010, and it's categorized under Internet Movie Database as a crime horror mystery, which is somewhat accurate, but and it's got a 5.4 rating. It's written and directed by the same person, James Rabbits, and I just like to say, I thought this was a terrible movie. I thought this was a terrible movie. It was produced and shot very well, but the thing that was wrong with this movie the most was the story. This is a movie that really relied on the ending. The ending was really a make or break deal with this movie. If for those of you who don't know, the synopsis is that this woman, probably in her late 20s, early to late 20s, is traveling across the country. I don't know what country it is, but they're just traveling across the country with her boyfriend, and she's pregnant, and they're traveling in this car, and they stop at this motel for the night, and when they wake up the next morning, when like no the boyfriend goes out to get some food, and when he comes back the girl's gone, and the hotel keeper is actually this really creepy guy. He's this really just southern, like, no, he's not southern, I don't know, he's just like this hillbilly like slob, and he was already like giving the boyfriend weird vibes when they got there, because he charged them three people when they got the room, the boyfriend, the girlfriend, and the baby. That's how sleazy he is. um and he was already like hitting on his girlfriend and stuff. He's all, oh man, she's got great tits and everything. And so after the girl disappears, he calls the police, and the police come out, and they interview the hotel guy, and the hotel guy's still acting like a creep, and the boyfriend like wigs out. He's like, you know where she is, and like he attacks him, and then the policeman like pulls him off of him and actually arrests the boyfriend, and is going to take him downtown, because he attacked the hotel guy. So that's basically the premise. The girl goes missing, and I think I should need to say a little bit more. This might be spoiling a little, but but it's not spoiling too much. It's not spoiling the twist, I guess. The girl wakes up in this warehouse. No, actually, it's not this warehouse. It's just this huge facility in a bathtub full of ice, and she apparently has been operated on, and there's a cut on her stomach which indicates there's a cesarean, a C-section, and her baby's gone. And she's in this tub full of ice, because obviously I think you need to do that after you have surgery so it doesn't hurt so much. And she gets up, and there's nobody there. It's this deserted like warehouse, and she puts on these clothes, and she goes to these other rooms. No, wait, no. She goes to these. She's walking out of the warehouse, and she sees these other rooms that also have bathtubs in them, and so she's assuming that the other women went through the same thing. And she leaves the warehouse, and it's in this sort of desert. It's not really a desert. It's more just like a wasteland. And she tries to get out. She tries to escape to the road, but there's this fence. She can't get past it. She passes out, and these other women come to her aid, and they all look the same as her. They all have the cesarean mark. They're all wearing the same clothes. I think it's like five. No, it's four other women, I believe, and and they have to figure out what's going on. And they have to, and they notice that one by one they're being hunted down by this other woman who's probably in the same predicament as them. And so that's the basic premise. And yeah, I just really didn't like this movie. And it's hard to say why I didn't like it without going into spoilers. It's really hard to say why I didn't like it, because it's really the twist, in my opinion, that ruins this movie. When you find out why this is being done to these women, that's what ruins the movie for me. The movie up to that point was decent. Yeah, it's just the horror elements weren't really that good. When there's this other woman who's hunting them down because she knows what's actually going on, sort of. So she knows she has to hunt down the other women. The horror elements aren't done very well. It's just very standard kills. It's not like a Friday the 13th type glorified kills. It's just very boring kills. So the horror element's not that good. This movie reminded me a lot of Saw and Hostel, but both of those movies are far superior. okay, I'm gonna spoil a little bit more to tell you why I didn't like this movie. I'm not spoiling the whole twist though. Okay, so what basically they find out is that their babies have been taken. All these women's babies have been taken by cesarean, and in the baby's place is like this little colored pin. And I don't know if it's like a pin or it's like this little plastic thing that. And they also find out in the facility, in these cages, locked cages, are all the babies that have colored foot tags. So the only way for them to tell which babies are whose is to cut themselves open, get the little colored tag out, and match it to the baby. So I guess the one of the women who's going around trying to kill them all and cut them open and get the tags out realizes this and she just is blindly going around trying to cut open these women and get their tags out so she knows which baby is hers. Um, because I think yeah, she could cut herself open and get her tag out to find out which babies, to get her color tag out to find out which babies is hers, but she doesn't want to do that because she'd kill herself. Um, so that's basically the premise, and and that the horror elements of the movie aren't very well. And I gotta say, who is this woman who's going around? See, the other women are actually trying to work together to solve this. They're not trying to go around and kill each other. But who is this other woman, this sixth woman, who's going around trying to kill everybody? And she's just like, no, I'm just going to try to kill everybody else and find out what color tags theirs are. So by a process of elimination, I'll know which color tag mine is, so I'll know which baby is mine. Who is this woman? She's like Jason Voorhees' girlfriend. She's so calculated. She's going around killing all these other women. She's like, who is this woman? She's like, she's so good at what she does, and it's like, ugh. And the horror elements aren't even done that well. Like I said, the boyfriend, and then there's this other side plot that's kind of cut short, where the boyfriend's trying to like track down his girlfriend and find out where she is. Basically, yeah, he gets taken downtown by the cop, who's he suspects is in cahoots with the people who took his girlfriend, along with the hotel guy. And what he basically ends up doing is taking the cop's gun and hijacking the cop. He basically handcuffs the cop to a telephone pole and takes his cop car, and he finds out. He drives back to the hotel and he like beats the answers out of the hotel manager, and he finds out where the women might be held, and he drives off to there, and there's like these knives in the these spikes in the road, and he pops his tires before he gets out there, and he crashes, and that's pretty much the rest we hear from him. Like, we don't hear anything from him for the rest of the movie until the end. So he wasn't really a big help. So basically, what turns out is that these women are all on their own. You know, these five women, you know, they're being hunted down by the sixth woman who's like, oh no, I don't care, we're not going to work together, I'm just going to, she's determined to, by the process of elimination, find out what the other tags are from the five other women by cutting them open, and then she'll know which baby is hers. She won't be able to open the cages to get to her baby, but she'll at least know which one is hers. So this whole time, you know, you're wondering, who is doing this? Why are they doing this? And when you find out why they are doing this, it's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. It's like, this pretty much ruins the movie. And you know, okay, so basically, that's my review. My spoiler-free review is, I would probably give this. I'm thinking of giving this movie a 5.9 out of 10, and I even then I think that's being rather generous, because it is rather intriguing at first, and it is really well made, but the ending just ruins this movie. Basically, what ends up happening is, um, they finally end up like the sixth murderous, you know, former pregnant woman ends up killing them all except two of them. You know, one who was actually a former doctor and was actually gonna, you know, non-violently try to figure out whose baby's who by cutting people open with you know, anesthetic, and actually, you know, she saw some equipment in the warehouse, you know, that they use, so she was like, well, I could do it, you know, we could do this safely, find out whose baby's who, you know, but so the only surviving two women are her and the girlfriend of the boyfriend who, you know, was trying to got in the cop car and was trying to hunt them down. Those are the only two surviving. Oh, and the murderous woman. But they finally kill the murderous woman, and and but the murderous woman, before they kill the murderous woman, she kills the the doctor woman. Sorry, I don't remember their names. The doctor woman, and so basically the only remaining woman is the girlfriend of the boyfriend at the beginning, and she finally knows whose babies are whose, and she goes back upstairs. Oh, and I forgot to mention she got the keys off of this. It turns out like one of the people who run the facility, she finds them, and it's this like mentally handicapped, mentally challenged boy, and she gets the keys off of him to open up the cages to get the babies. So she finally figures out which baby's hers by process elimination, and she goes up there. She's finally going to open it up, but the babies are all gone. And then she gets like gassed or something. She gets like knocked unconscious by the people who run the place. And then she wakes up and she's chained in this house. And like this woman comes in with this man, and he has a gun, and this other woman, and they're holding the baby, and they're like, as it turns out, this was all an elaborate like Darwinist elimination game where they got to see which, by judging which woman of the pregnant women survived this game, that was the fittest baby or something. And so then they sold that baby to this potential buyer. It's this whole stupid thing where like the potential buyer who wants to adopt a baby, it's like supposedly that determines which baby's the best or something by pitting the mothers against each other. Like, I was like, what? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like that, I'm gonna get into why that doesn't make sense. But so and then they're like, and they explain it all to her. This is the point where they explain to her, we are this adoption agent, and they talk Russian, of course, to which reminded me of Hostel. We are this adoption agency, the only adoption agency where the potential buyer can see the pregnant mothers pit against each other, the 6 pregnant mothers, and whichever mother survives, that must be the best baby, and we will sell it. And it's like, what? That's the dumbest premise I've ever heard. Because you could do that. That could be something you could do, but that doesn't make any sense. That process, oh my god, it's so fucking stupid. And so the lady who runs the place gives the baby over to the potential buyer, and the former pregnant woman sees it, and she's all heartbroken, and then the lady's husband goes over with a gun, and she's like, okay, we're going to kill you now because we're selling your baby because you survived and you were the strongest, so we're selling your baby. And the husband's about to shoot her, and this is the point where I thought that, her boyfriend, the former pregnant lady's boyfriend, God, this is hard to review this without names, but the former pregnant lady's boyfriend was going to come in, and save her. But no, the former pregnant lady's boyfriend doesn't come in. It's the mentally handicapped challenged son that comes in with a shotgun, and he's aiming it at the 2 people that run the place, and the mother of the mentally handicapped boy is like, you fucking idiot, stop, what are you doing? It's like, that didn't make any sense either. Why is the mentally handicapped son saving her? That doesn't make any sense either. Like, he doesn't know her. Like, why would he do that? And so what ends up happening is mentally handicapped son gets shot, and he shoots like the husband, and the wife of the people that run the place runs away with the baby, and and it's just fucking stupid. Like, as it turns out, the formerly pregnant lady, she was bought from this place. Oh, what a coincidence. And it turns out to be a coincidence that she was bought from she was adopted from this very facility to her parents, who aren't her real parents, and she finds this out. And it's like, what bullshit? That's such a coincidence. Like, and it wasn't even planned this way. It just turns out, and then she ends up killing the lady who runs the place. So basically everybody who runs this place is killed. She takes her baby, and as it turns out, her boyfriend, who was trying to find her, died in that car crash. So basically he was pretty much useless as all hell. So and so in the end, she goes to her real mother's grave, and she sees a man walking away from her real mother's grave, and it's assumed that it's her real father, who never found her real pregnant mother, and she goes off to find him, and it's like, I probably fucked up like the details, but you get what I'm saying. It's so stupid. The premise is so fucking stupid, because you could do something like that. You could do something where you pit parents against each other to get the most physically fit, but they only did the mothers. Like, how would they know that the father wouldn't be just this genetic runt? You know what I mean? From what I know, there's two sides to DNA, you know what I mean? And you're only testing one side, which is the mother. If you were going to do something like this, a battle royale, of round robin, elimination to figure out who's the most physically and mentally strong parents, you could do this, but you need both parents. Why? In this movie, they only have the women. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And not to mention, like, the majority of the women don't even fight each other. Like, 5 out of the 6 tried to work together to get out of there. So it was only one of the women who was actually trying to kill the other ones. So it's not even a process of elimination, So you just completely ruined your whole test. There's no test to be had. Like, you'd actually have to actively force these women to fight each other, and they didn't. The majority, like I said, the majority of them didn't even fight each other. They worked together to get out of there. So again, it's fucking stupid. And again, like, what kind of people would fucking go to this adoption agency? You know what I mean? How would you even approach this adoption agency? Because their whole process is so illegal and so questionable and so just wrong. It's like, if you inquired and found out how they did it, like, you couldn't say, like, oh no, I changed my mind, because you'd probably go to the authorities and tip them off and tell them about how these people are doing illegal activities. It's so stupid. How would you find clients? You know what I mean? What kind of demented parents or retarded parents would buy into this? Even if this whole process is just fucking stupid. I mean, God, the ending just ruined this movie. Man, I've gone on longer than I should have. I've probably gone on longer than I should have, because you could probably watch the movie and figure out how stupid this movie is by how long I've been rambling. But yeah, it's just retarded. It's called The Clinic, released in 2010. Man, I should probably rate it lower than 5.9. That's probably being generous. You know what? Fuck it. I'll rate it 5.6. This is the worst horror movie I've seen so far. It was not so bad at the beginning, but then it just was completely destroyed by the fucking ending, because it's just so stupid. I mean, of course I didn't see the twist coming, because the twist doesn't make any sense. Like, if you wanted to do a battle royale to find out the genetic, oh god, there'd be better ways to do this, is what I'm saying. Like, they didn't. I don't buy it. Anyway, terrible horror movie. I'm gonna give it, I'm gonna give it a 5, man. I'm getting more and more pissed as more and more I talk about this. 5 out of 10. Worst horror movie I've seen so far. It's called The Clinic, released in 2010. Fucking end video, man. I'm done.